Have you recently sent a text to your kids and then you got that do not disturb message that popped up, meaning your kids have their notifications silenced? Experts say more Gen Zers are doing this as a way to cope with their phone anxiety and their fear of phone calls. So joining us with more insight on this is Jan Goss, the founder of Show Up Well Consulting. It's a coaching services company. Jan, what is going on with our phone calls?
Well, Jamie, they aren't happening as often as they used to. That's for sure. Phone phobia is a real thing. It's a whole new environment for the Gen Zers as they enter into the workforce to be asked to be on a telephone, like actually speaking to other humans, because they've been raised with electronic communication.
So this is a product of kind of the Zoom era and times when people were really not having face-to-face conversations. So a phone call, you imagine if the phone is ringing, it might not be good news here. How do we kind of soften this blow, get people talking on the phone? A lot of times if that conversation happens, that they're maybe anxious about, there's a peaceful, happy resolution.
You know, there is. And it's so funny because the answer really is communication, which is what we're talking about, is communication. And in my experience with the graduate students that I've worked with, and I've worked with thousands of them, if you approach, first of all, compassionately, I'm always going to take the compassionate approach and have compassion because they come from a different paradigm. And then be willing to explain why this is important. You need that two-way communication. If there is an issue, it's important to get immediate feedback. You can't always get that through a text or email communication, and it leaves out any voice inflections or tones.
Well, we think of how many times text messages can be interpreted incorrectly or with, not in the way that was ever intended. And then, you know, sometimes it's nice not to have a paper trail and to have whatever the grievance is voiced in between two people where compassion is hopefully the goal and the understanding.
Yes. Now, Jamie, it sounds like maybe you got in trouble a little bit with a paper trail or something. Do you want to share anything with us about communication?
For quite some time. And I know, just go to the person and have the conversation rather than put it in writing, because sometimes it just looks much worse than it even is or is intended at all. And but the ringing of a phone, it is kind of startling, and I feel like I understand that as well. When the phone rings, oh my God, do I answer this? This is a known entity. This is my friend. This is, I guess I should take this call. So how do we get that generation and others to graduate into the phone is a good thing. It's actually a connector. This is going to benefit a lot of us with our conversations that we have.
Right. Well, again, it's open communication around it. In my family, I love my kids and grandkids because when I call, they answer. And that is a high compliment to me. Like, I understand that that is a very rare thing, but I think expressing upfront what your desires are and letting them know why it's important to you, and especially in the marketplace, in the workplace, when you're dealing with business matters, sometimes a phone call is the only way to take care of things. And if we communicate that and help train them in phone etiquette, they're afraid of what they don't know. They've never used their phones or not that much. And so, role playing, helping them, training them, giving them the correct way to approach people and what to say. It helps with the communication.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, as you often do, Jan, with just the compassion, having compassion for both people on either side of that conversation. And, when grandma calls, you answer.
Every time.
Every time. Jan,
You got it.
It was a pleasure. Dan Goss, thank you so much.